So, the big news dropped, and it wasn't what anyone expected. The Toronto Maple Leafs, instead of holding their much-anticipated outdoor practice, announced a sudden change of plans. The event, originally planned for some scenic outdoor rink, is now moving indoors to the Mattamy Athletic Center. You heard that right? Indoor. It's a pretty big shift, especially for an event that usually thrives on that open-air vibe. The team put out a pretty straightforward statement, citing extreme weather conditions as the reason for the move. No big surprise there, I guess. We're in Canada, after all. But still, it's a high-profile event, and I know a lot of fans, myself included, were really looking forward to seeing the boys skate under the open sky. There's always that little bit of disappointment when something you've been looking forward to gets rerouted. Logistically, it must be a nightmare for the organizers too, scrambling to move everything indoors with such short notice. All those plans, all that setup for an outdoor gathering, just tossed out the window because of the forecast. But here's the thing, and this is where my brain immediately went. Sure, it's a bummer about the outdoor part, but the Mattamy Athletic Center isn't just any old indoor rink. We're talking about the historic Maple Leaf Gardens. Let that sink in for a second. Maple Leaf Gardens. For anyone who follows the Leafs, that name carries some serious weight. It's got history, it's got ghosts, it's got all those stories etched into its very foundations. So, while the initial reaction might be a groan about the weather, there's this immediate pivot, this unexpected silver lining. From the blustery cold, a new legacy emerges. It's not just a practice anymore, it's a moment. A chance to connect with something deeper, something that feels more meaningful than just another open skate. And if that wasn't enough to get your attention, they also dropped another bomb. WWE superstars are going to be there. Yes, you read that correctly. WWE superstars. At a Maple Leafs practice. And not just for show, they're part of a 3-on-3 tournament. I mean, who saw that coming? It's an unprecedented mix of sports and entertainment, something you'd never expect to see at a traditional hockey practice. It makes you wonder what exactly they have planned. Will they be on skates? Will they be coaching? Will there be some kind of wrestling-hockey hybrid? The possibilities are wild. It definitely adds a whole new layer of intrigue to an already interesting situation. This isn't just a relocation. It's a transformation. Before we dive deeper into what this means for the team, for the fans, and for the legacy of these open practices, do me a favor. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories reach. Now, let's talk about why this change, despite the initial disappointment, might actually be one of the best things to happen to the Leafs community events in a long time. Historically, the Maple Leafs have a pretty cool tradition of these annual outdoor practices. They're not just practices, they're community events. A way for the team to connect with fans outside the arena, in places that feel more grassroots. Think back to previous years, and you'll remember the buzz. These events usually bring a special kind of energy. Last year's practice, for example, at the Prince of Wales rink in Mimico, was a perfect example of how these things usually go. It was a proper community celebration. The ice was packed with fans, bundled up, cheering. You had kids on skates holding signs, parents sipping hot chocolate. Everyone just soaking up the atmosphere. It wasn't just the fans who showed up. Dignitaries were there too. Mayor Olivia Chow made an appearance, which always adds a bit of official weight to the event, showing that the city itself values these connections. But what really stood out was how personal it felt. The players themselves brought their families. You'd see a star player, usually so focused and intense on the ice during a game, laughing with his kids, maybe teaching them a few moves on the sidelines. It humanizes them, makes them feel more like regular people, not just larger-than-life athletes. Those moments, seeing a player's wife and kids enjoying the cold air and the hockey, really forge a stronger bond between the team and its supporters. It's about more than just hockey. It's about shared experiences and community spirit. But here's the thing about outdoor events. They come with a whole lot of moving parts and a ton of planning that most people never even see. You're not just setting up a rink. You're managing crowds in unpredictable weather, coordinating security, making sure there are enough amenities, and dealing with all the logistical headaches that come with temporary setups. Imagine all the meticulous preparation that went into last year's event in Mimico. They had to secure permits, arrange for temporary seating, set up warming stations, plan for medical services, and even think about things like portable restrooms and food vendors. All of that effort, all those hours of detailed planning, are always at the mercy of one big factor: the weather. Anyone who's ever organized an outdoor gathering knows that feeling of constantly checking the forecast, hoping for clear skies. For these large-scale public events, the stakes are even higher. A sudden drop in temperature, heavy snowfall, or worse, freezing rain, can turn a well-planned event into a chaotic mess, or worse, a safety hazard. This vulnerability to external factors, especially something as uncontrollable as weather, has always been the Achilles heel of these otherwise fantastic outdoor practices. The team and the organizers have always done an incredible job, but it's like building a sandcastle too close to the tide. You know, there's always a risk it could be washed away. Over the years, you could feel a subtle shift in how these events were discussed. Fans always loved the idea of outdoor practices, but there was also an underlying anxiety about them getting canceled or moved. The messaging from the team, while always positive, sometimes hinted at the challenges. They'd talk about contingency plans or weather-dependent schedules. It wasn't overt, but it was there, a quiet acknowledgement that despite all the effort, nature could always have the final say. While previous events were successful, each one carried that inherent risk, slowly eroding the absolute certainty that future outdoor practices would always go off without a hitch. This time, that underlying risk became reality. But it led to something else entirely. The decision to move the practice indoors to the Mattamy Athletic Center was more than just a logistical shift. It was a turning point. It transformed what could have been a major disappointment into a celebration of history and new possibilities. For longtime fans, seeing the team return to what was once Maple Leaf Gardens, even in its reimagined form, carries a deep significance. It's a venue steeped in Maple Leaf's lore, a place where legends were made and championships were won. This wasn't just any old indoor rink, it was coming home, in a way. The extreme weather, the antagonist in this story, forced a change, but in doing so, it actually allowed the team and the fans to win in a different, unexpected way. Instead of battling the elements, everyone embraced a unique opportunity. The event now promises a blend of historical reverence, with the ghosts of hockey past surely lingering in the rafters, alongside modern hockey analysis. Fans will still get to see their favorite players up close, but within walls that echo with decades of Maple Leafs history. And of course, there's the added, unexpected layer of entertainment with the WWE superstars. It's a fusion that no one saw coming, turning a forced change into a genuinely fresh experience. This realistic and human outcome means that despite the initial hiccup, the event is set to foster community spirit and connection in a new way. Fans, who might have grumbled a bit about the outdoor practice being canceled, will likely find a new appreciation for the team's adaptability. It shows that even when plans go awry, the commitment to engaging with the fan base remains strong. This indoor practice offers a distinct experience, one that combines the nostalgia of Maple Leaf Gardens with current team insights. It's a chance to see how the team operates in a more controlled, intimate environment, and that has its own kind of charm. For the die-hard hockey strategists among the fans, this indoor practice isn't just about history or celebrity appearances. It's a goldmine for insights. Being indoors, with fewer distractions and better acoustics, means fans can really focus on what's happening on the ice. They'll get a real, unfiltered look at the projected line combinations just ahead of the important game against the Buffalo Sabres. Coaches will be barking orders, players will be running drills, and fans can analyze every pass, every shot, every defensive setup. This fulfills a critical fan interest, getting a tactical edge, understanding the team's strategy before they hit the real ice. It's a chance to see the mechanics of the team at work, which is something you don't always get from a televised game or even a chaotic outdoor practice. The intimacy of the Mattamy Athletic Center will allow for a different kind of fan interaction too. The energy will be contained, focused, and perhaps even more intense than an open-air event. It's a return to the roots of hockey, played in an arena designed for the game, not just a temporary setup. This unexpected turn of events proves that sometimes, the best experiences come from adapting to challenges. What started as a weather-induced setback has morphed into a unique celebration, blending past and present, sport, and entertainment. It's a testament to the enduring spirit of the Maple Leafs and their dedicated fan base. From the chill of uncertainty, a new chapter for the Leafs unfolds within hallowed walls.